What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Sam the Beard Guy channel. So today we're going to be talking about the Native Instruments pianos and their piano collections, some of their main ones. I know I did a video on this like a year and a half ago, but pianos age over time and they don't always stay kind of tier A or top tier forever. And so I want to go through some of these again with the mindset of, hey, 2023 is coming up. I know it's only September, but 2023 is coming up. Do I want to buy a Native Instruments piano, or all of them, or a few of them, or their bundle, or whatever? And so I will say, I use tons of different pianos: Keyscape, Piano Tech, Gentleman, Grandeur, Maverick, UnaCorda, some of the Hammer and Waves stuff. Oliver Arnold's. I use the Noir. So I use quite a few pianos, and so I'll be comparing these to some of the ones I use, either in actual playing them in Logic, or just talking about how they're different. But yeah, let's go ahead and dig in. It's always a big help when you like, subscribe, share, all the things, comment, whatever. It's a big help. So yeah, let's go ahead and dig in. We're going to go ahead and start with the one piano I actually do use more than any of these other ones, which is the Gentleman. So we'll load this baby up and just play around a little bit. Yep, there's a reason why I still use this. So we can experiment with some of the lid settings, which kind of just muffles it up a little bit. So you get into the tone a little bit. You can mess with some of this. Which is cool. Again, I find myself with a lot of these EQ settings in these pianos. I'm just doing them through another EQ, and so you could kind of bake some of these in just as a starting place. But I don't really get in here and do a ton of this stuff. You can do transients though, which kind of creates this like artificial sounding compression kind of thing when you have the attack a little bit tighter, where this feels like a compression with a really slow attack time. And that transient is just kind of hanging out a lot longer. So you can get in here and even map this to a MIDI controller if you want to create a little bit more bite on something, or on a slower song, maybe have a little bit more sustain. You can map that to something if you want to. Same thing with compressor here. Again, I wouldn't find myself using this a ton. Anatomy can be cool with overtones. You can hear that, versus. Cool way to just kind of widen it up if you want to. this is all, you can kind of, you know, this is the, if you want to do the felty thing, you can get in there and do that. Even the damper pedal, you know, which could be cool depending on what kind of thing you're recording. It's kind of nice, but I'll turn those off. Space, again, reverb. I'm not using built-in reverbs a ton. You can maybe... You can maybe do that if you wanted to, but I'm just not really doing that a ton. So let me set this up actually in a way that I use this. I use this actually a ton in worship stuff. All right, so I've got this loaded up the way I would use it on a Sunday morning for just a church thing. I got a little bit of EQ and then a virtual mix rack by Slate. And so... then a little bit of reverb. So that's how I kind of use it. Yeah, so I'm just showing you how I've kind of tweaked it to fit the world that I use the Gentleman a ton in. You don't have to use any of this stuff, so you could... A little bit different tonality, but it also works there too. So I have found with the Native Instruments pianos, just to preface the other ones, they do need a little bit more tweaking and EQing and compressing and reverbing than something like Keyscape does, which is the same as Piano Tech. Piano Tech needs, well, it depends on how you look at it. It's very raw, so in a lot of ways it doesn't need anything, but it's not nearly as produced as Keyscape. So if you want to do anything to fit inside of a mix or anything extra, you have to do that outside of the plugin. Keyscape usually is different. They usually kind of come boxed, kind of produced already. The Native Instruments stuff is the same thing. So when I'm using any of these, Grandeur, Gentleman, the Giant, whatever, I'm adding stuff onto it afterwards. Keyscape, you have to do a little bit less of that. It's probably the same net CPU usage because Keyscape is a absolute computer hog and killer, and this isn't as much, but all the plugins you would add to it. All right, so let's pull up the Grandeur here. Just out of the box as is. Got to make sure I don't play too much because I've had complaints that I play too much when I do these reviews. So let's add a little bit of reverb on that. Yeah, so that one feels nice. You can change the lid, of course. Kind of mellows it out. You can actually do half lid and full lid on this. Which is nice. Open, half. Yeah, so you can go through here and change the lid settings, anatomy, same as, the gentleman stuff. So we don't have to get into all that, but got a little reverb on there. That's what it sounds like with the slate thing on there. So, Grandeur's great. These libraries are all priced a little bit cheaper than some of the really nice ones out there in the market. So I would never use Grandeur probably in a studio setting. I would totally use it in a live setting where I'm a little bit more concerned about CPU, just preservation and RAM, just being able to play consistently. You load up some of these really intense pianos and you're just slamming your computer live. And I run probably 10 to 15 pads at the same time as well. And so, or I have 10 to 15 pads loaded up. I don't always use 10 at the same time. But there's a lot going on in the CPU space in these worship settings. And so I try to use less CPU hungry pianos. So Grandeur is something that I could use or do use a lot live, in addition to the Gentleman. Love the Gentleman, love the Grandeur. Let's move over to the Maverick, which is a little bit different. So you can get in here, same thing, lid settings. Anatomy, tone, all these things are kind of the same. So Maverick has a much more niche, whatever, unique sound to it. To me, it's a little more tinny, a little more hollow. It's based off of an old, I think like 1920s piano, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong on that. Doesn't really matter. It really just matters how it sounds. So it has less applicability for me in my world. It could be something that, you know. Or, you know. Or how, I don't know. Maybe a more classical setting. I don't know a lot of classical music anymore. But, yeah. Less usefulness for me, but still a good product if you're needing something in this kind of realm. All right, so let's go over to, let's stay in the piano world, or the normal piano world, go to the Giant real quick. So this, you know, the title of this one really kind of says what this piano is all about. This is obviously if you want a lot of just oomph. This piano, I think in real life, is like tons of feet tall. I think that's what this picture is actually mimicking. So all the tone stuff is the same. Obviously body, it's got, you know, cracked up a little bit. So you can do XXL mode, which is just, I think, just bigger. You can kind of set more of this. Yeah. I ran out of that grave, out of the dawn. So the low end on that one is sick. It's a lot. I don't know that you would ever need that live. Maybe. I don't love the mid range on that one and how it sounds, but if you're looking for just some low end stuff, that one's great. It's cheating a little bit because it just has the low keys. But if I wasn't mistaken, it almost sounds like there's a sub octave on it, like there's one below. But I could be wrong. But yeah, that one's just big and full. It is a Giant. So again, kind of the same thing as the Maverick. To me, it has a little bit less usefulness than the Grandeur and the Gentleman, but it's usable in the right circumstance. As I'm playing this, I'm even thinking about a creative way to like have two pianos going at the same time, and the giant only like down here, and another piano the rest of the keyboard, so I can get this. That's interesting. I'm just not thinking about that. That could be cool. I don't know. So yeah, that is the giant. So let's go over to the UnaCorda, kind of getting out of the normal piano world, getting into some of the more felty things. So I'll give UnaCorda a lot of credit. There's a lot more customability in these than the other ones. You can get in here and change the fabric type. There's just so much you can do in this one that I love. You can add some ambience. Even as pianist, it's like it's adding in some of the live pianist movements, so like the bench squeak and stuff. It's really cool. This is your typical, whatever. And then let's get into FX. You can do some cool stuff here with tapes. Some really cool stuff in here. So if you want to see more of me digging into that, go back and watch the video I did like a year ago on this. I really dig into some of these things in here. But let's see. Let's get to the felt. So nice. Same thing, you can get in here and customize a ton of the stuff. That's the felt, and then the pure. Yes, that's the Pure. I probably use the Pure more than the others, just because it starts off a little bit more pure, and then I can add in some of the more felty, fabric things if I want to. So again, the UnaCorda, just like the Maverick and the Giant, have less applicability, but they're definitely useful in the right moment. This would be cool to have in a really... you would never want to use something like this in a big part of a song, but really cool intimate intro. You could do some cool things. You can get in here and like tweak some of this stuff, do some of the moving or continuous little things, and just have some fun. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's definitely tons of things you can do with this to just make it creative and unique. Different tapes and plates and different noises, and even the piano stuff and the ambience, the reverses, setting what tempo the reverses can go. This one has a lot more customability than the ones we've talked about so far. So yeah, definitely worth using. There are a lot of other great felt pianos on the market as well, which hasn't always been the case. But this one, for what it's worth, which is the similar price point to the other ones, it's a good buy. I don't know that I'm pulling this up in the studio, but again, for live stuff, it's a low CPU thing, so it's definitely worth using in a live setting. All right, the last one I want to talk about, I'm just going to preface right now, it is my least favorite. I have never liked Alicia Keys. Not her, but just the piano. I can't even stand playing it. I don't like it. I don't know. Trying to be fair to it. I would just only want to use the dry setting because I would use my own reverbs, which is what I'm doing here. Yeah, I just don't like it. I can't even recommend this piano. I just don't like it. I can't do it. I mean, this was out 10 years ago when I was in college. So I don't know. I just don't like it. It's hard to explain, but when I'm playing it, it just doesn't feel right. Maybe I'm just biased and I've convinced myself that I hate it and it actually sucks, but I just don't like it. It feels clanky to me. Doesn't feel like it's representing anywhere close. I know every piano is different, and sometimes they're intentionally produced in a way that feel different than a real piano, but this just doesn't feel in the ballpark at all. So, just not for me. Again, this thing is cheap and cost efficient if that's what you're looking for, but I think you're better off kind of getting some of these other ones down here. So yeah, that is the Native Instruments stuff, piano wise, that kind of comes in there, just their basic piano world. And so in order and hierarchy of ones that I use the most, and really also ones I like the most, Gentleman. I love Gentleman. I think it is the best one in the 5 or 6 that we've looked at today. Gentleman, Grandeur, Maverick, UnaCorda, Giant, Alicia Keys. That's how I'd place those. The only reason I place UnaCorda under Maverick is there are a lot of great felt pianos out there. They're a lot more expensive, but I happen to have them, and so I just tend to go towards those when I want to use a felty thing, like the Oliver Arnold's Composer's Toolkit or piano, the Noir stuff. They both got incredible felts. Even the Hammer and Acoustics, they've got some felty things, I think, in there that I've really grown to like over time. And so that's the order I would rank those in. Yeah, so here we go. They've got some great stuff too. So Noir, I accidentally uninstalled it. The Composer's Toolkit, I mean, they've got, some cool felts in there too. But this is not what that video is. I did a video on this a month or two ago if you want to go watch that one. So overall, I think some of these are worth buying. If it makes sense to buy them all, then buy them all. I just tend to go back towards the Gentleman and the Grandeur as being kind of the ones I use the most, and the Maverick will sneak in there every once in a while. And then my felt world, I'll use Noir probably live. And if I want something really big like the Giant would have to offer, I'd probably just load up the C7 from Keyscape and just use that, because that's already just a full-bodied sound. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Shopping season's coming up, so if you've made it to the end of this video, that's interesting. Most people don't. So, but like, subscribe, share, comment, all the good things. That would be a big help. And yeah, thanks for watching.